Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. We've only got a few days left here in Season 3, right around a week and a half when this video is first being posted, and like always, the next seasonal update is going to be very, very big. It's going to bring a lot of content to every single title, honestly. It's going to bring a lot of new changes and fixes, and today, we're breaking down everything that's been confirmed for this Season 4 update, including some new weapon tuning, some quality of life fixes, and even more. So as we go through it all, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. Let's go for 4,000 likes on this one. And of course, if you're new to the channel or if you haven't already subscribed, I am always covering everything going on in Call of Duty, news, intel updates, pretty much everything like that. So feel free to subscribe, that way you can always stay up to date. Also, right now, code WhosImmortal is boosted to get you 30% off your entire order from G Fuel. So if you want to stock up on anything in time for Season 4, a new tub, a starter pack, anything like that, code WhosImmortal has got you covered. So first and foremost, over the coming days, we should find out more and more about what's coming in Season 4 in terms of just like general seasonal content. We're still a little ways out from knowing what most of that is, but Raven has been very busy confirming and teasing a lot of back-end changes and gameplay changes coming in Season 4 over like the past couple of weeks or so. And the first place we can look at for all of that info is, of course, the Trello board, where Raven and Treyarch update some things that they're looking into fixing and updating at some point in the future. So under the Warzone tab here, Raven has listed that they're investigating the following issues, including Regiment invitations not working. This has been broken for quite some time now, where you can invite people to a regiment, but they don't actually see said invitation on their end, so they can't end up joining. Definitely a very annoying bug if you're trying to just play with any of your friends through a regiment. I'm surprised it hasn't been fixed yet. Like, this has been an issue for well over a month at this point, but with the big Season 4 update, we know we're going to have a ton of fixes there, so there's a good chance that gets fixed here in a couple of days. On top of that, they are also working on fixing Xbox crashes where players are like in the end game, the end of the match. This one they've also known about for quite some time, and they recently tweeted about this one too. So Xbox players end games should be working normal again soon. Honestly, it could even be updated prior to Season 4. If they have to put out like an urgent patch, they could possibly include that in there. But I would assume Season 4 at the latest for the crashing issue there. Raven also has a fix scheduled for the 5573 dev error that's been hard crashing games as well. Most of the time they say it has to do with using the Carve 2 weapon and that being in your hands. However, this dev error can apparently happen in some other instances too, and this is confirmed to be fixed in the next major update, aka the Season 4 launch update. Then the final issue that Raven has on the Trello board is a memory error that Xbox users are running into as well. Basically, if you're on Xbox and your game is crashing a lot, there's a good chance those crashing problems are going to be fixed in the Season 4 update. But that said, I do think it's also important to note that Raven does not mention the other crashing issues on other platforms, like various memory errors on PC. I get those all the time when playing. And while those aren't on the Trello board right now, Raven is always actively pursuing any stability issues. So hopefully like memory error 1119 or 1712 or whatever they are on PC, hopefully those are going to be fixed too. Now, one very big update that we know is confirmed for Season 4 is weapon tuning for a lot of different weapons, it would seem. And this is sort of confirmed in various parts. Initially, back prior to the Season 3 Reloaded update, Raven put out some patch notes that included a very long list of weapon tuning at the time for like a lot of various Cold War weapons. And at the end of said patch notes, Raven said, "Finally, we would like to address concerns that we are only going to be making changes to Cold War weapons. In the future, we fully intend on taking a closer look at some of the Modern Warfare weapons that have been struggling." So this in and of itself is a confirmation that multiple Modern Warfare weapons that are sort of underutilized, if you will be getting some buffs at some point in the future. Now at the time, we didn't really know how long it would be until we saw those changes take place. Obviously, they did not happen with the whole mid-season update or the Season 3 Reloaded update, so that would leave Season 4 as the next best opportunity for those changes to take place. And keeping that in mind, in the most recent update patch notes, Raven also mentions that they have a great deal of enhancements coming to all Cold War optics and reticles in Season 4, and coupled with some exciting attachment changes, they feel like the landscape of long-range viable weapons is soon going to be as diverse as it's ever been. So this little note here specifically confirms Season 4 is going to include new weapon tuning. Obviously, it mentions Cold War optics, reticles, and attachments are all going to be undergoing some changes, at least in some capacity. And since we know some weapon tuning is already coming based off of that, I think it's, reasonable to assume that we're going to have the previously mentioned Modern Warfare weapon tuning around the same time. Now this means we could see some of the lesser used Modern Warfare weapons buffed. I mean, in our reality, it does mean that we're going to see the lesser used Modern Warfare weapons buffed. Maybe things like the P90, the Striker and whatnot, those could see some upgrades. We could see the Scar or the Odin get a buff. Like imagine the Scar gets a larger magazine. That's going to be one of the best weapons in the game. Maybe we see some pistol changes. There's a lot that could end up changing that's really going to spice up the meta even more once we see more Modern Warfare weapons added into like the competitive and viable area of the meta. Not to mention, the long-range meta is also going to be expanded even more. I assume they could maybe add some like recoil control to some of the Cold War barrels. Obviously with all like the Modern Warfare builds, the longest barrels add velocity, they add range, and they add recoil control, whereas most of the Cold War barrels simply focus on range or they focus on strafe speed and not so much recoil control, in that regard. So maybe we see some balancing changes there. But a lot of big things could be shifting both in terms of just the general weapon meta and then also the long range meta in specific. Definitely some very exciting stuff in my opinion. Now, to close things out, there's also a few things that are sort of standard with each season that we can confirm already. Specifically, Season 4 is going to be a bit different because we obviously had some interesting changes in Season 3 regarding the whole 80s Action Heroes event. But when it comes to Warzone map changes, we normally see some changes made every single season to the map. Sometimes they're really big changes, sometimes not so much. But right now we know the whole Nakatomi Plaza update in downtown is going to be lasting through a part of June, they said. And with Season 4's update, it's very possible we see that area changed up yet again. It may just be reverted back to like the old construction building that was there prior to the 80s Action Heroes event, or we may see it change to something else as if the construction was, completed on it over time. We can also expect something regarding the fast travel system with the red doors to be added in, considering we actually had that revealed sort of accidentally via a survey a little while back. And as of right now, we've yet to see anything regarding that, surface outside of that one survey. But with the whole reveal, quote unquote reveal for that coming from an official Call of Duty source, we know it's bound to come sooner rather than later. Obviously, with the new season, we're also going to see some new ground loot as well. We'll see some new weapons cycled in and out of the loot pool for ground and chest spawns, so gunplay just in general is going to feel a bit fresher as well to start off the season. On top of that, a few of the other basic things we know are coming. We've got a new battle pass that's guaranteed, that's a no-brainer. That's going to include some new weapons. We're also going to see some new operators and sort of the usual stuff like that with every single season. And those are all things that we should learn more and more about in the coming days. And of course, I'll be covering any new reveals as they happen in the next week or so. So yeah, there you have it. With all of that being said, that is effectively everything we can currently confirm for the Season 4 update here in Call of Duty Warzone. That's going to wrap things up for today. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here and you want to stay up to date with the latest Call of Duty news, intel, updates, and pretty much everything else in between, feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know whenever I upload a new video. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WhosImmortal for a discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. The links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.